seeking rest, because he comes out restless. But by virtue of coming out, he becomes restless. You see, when you give him a place, the right atmosphere, he comes there and rests. And when he begins to rest, he makes you restless. Nothing will rest with your life. Nothing will rest with demon resting in your life. Nothing will rest with devil resting. Devil will have no place in your life. Let me get a better amen there now. Devil will have no better. See, devil will have no place to rest in your life. Devil will have no place to rest in your family. I say you have no place to rest in your life. One thing that we do in the place of prayer is that we make our environment restless for any power to settle. When you don't pray, that environment restful for him. Am I talking here now? He walketh through darkness seeking rest and findeth none. He will not find any rest. He will not find a place this morning. And what happened in verse 44? And then he said, I will return where? The same place where I was cast out. I will go there. He said, whence I came out. And when he is come and he finds the place empty, may he not and find your soul empty. When you don't fill your soul with the word of God, it will become empty. And when it becomes empty, become vulnerable. And the Bible says swept and garnished. He said, wow, this is what I'm looking for. With secular music and secular songs, where garnished with worldly things and worldly pleasures. He said, I have found the place I'm looking for. Go to verse 45. And he goeth. When he sees that the place is empty, swept and garnished, he said, now this is the right place. But I will not this time around, I will not go alone. He goes back, now brings about 7 spirits more wicked than himself. They enter in and dwell there, and the last state of that man is worse than the first state. Even so shall it be with also unto this wicked generation. And a wicked generation, but you must exempt yourself from that generation. Am I talking here this morning? Take your seat now. So I'm going to continue from where I stopped. War against spiritual dryness. Contending with spiritual dryness. Fight against spiritual dryness. Battling spiritual dryness. Dealing, the easiest way to deal with Satan is to deal with spiritual what? Stop looking for Satan to bind and cast. Are you with me now? Handle your environment. You make him unsettled. Is there somebody hearing me? So, war against spiritual dryness, part 2. Already I have laid the foundation of this subject matter. If you want to go, I will not go back to it this morning. War against spiritual dryness. So I'm going to continue this morning. And very quickly we are looking at how do I know when I am drying up spiritually. But before I proceed this morning, hear me. Everything God created, including God himself, thrives on a particular environment or atmosphere. God cannot operate, even though God, he cannot operate on every atmosphere. If you make the atmosphere or environment conducive enough for him to operate, fine. He will come in there and carry out his work. Assignment life. Are you with me now? The same way Satan. So everything thrives at a particular environment. The strength of shark is in the river. The strength of snake is in the rock. The strength of an eagle is in the air. Am I talking here now? The eagle, we know eagle to be strong. Eagle is strong. Eagle commands strength, but the eagle will struggle in the water. Eagle will struggle on the ground. The earth. Snake will make a mess of eagle on the what? The ground. We know that no matter how, he said, lion is the king of the jungle. He's only in the jungle. But lion, the weakness of the lion will be exposed in underwater or in the water. ordinary crayfish, shrimps will make a mess of lion in the water. Am I talking here now? Huh? Because every man's strength is within his environment, his own atmosphere. Am I talking here now? Like I said last time, it is not every environment or atmosphere that Satan can operate. If he's operating in your life because you created the atmosphere for him to operate, you made your life become a dry place for him, operate a dry place for him to rest and settle. So we are dealing with fighting against spiritual dryness. The strength of Satan is the environment you created. I told us where God exists, Satan will exist. And where Satan exists, God will what? Exist, because they cannot share the same space. We are going to be looking at how to know when you are dry spiritually. How to know? How do you know if you are dry spiritually or not? Can I tell us something here? Hear me and hear me well. There is nothing in this life you cannot discover if you are sincere. Let me reiterate. There is nothing in this life that you cannot discover if you are sincere. I would have gone ahead to tell us how you will know, but let me lay this foundation. It will help us to be more sincere with our answer or response. Child of God, for you to know if you are dry or spiritually, there is need for self-examination. Self-examination. Lest he that thinks that he stands take heed lest he fall. It's easier for you to think that you are standing, but you may not know that your feet are already slipping. So there is need for self-examination. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 12. Hey! Do not make assumptions. Take heed. Tell your neighbor, don't make assumptions. As I'm preaching now, you are taking heed. You are examining yourself. Wherefore let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he what? He fall. Do not assume that you are standing. It's not a time to make self-assumption. You have to be sincere with yourself. Take heed as I'm preaching now, so that you may know if you are walking in a spiritually dry place or if your life is spiritually dry. Listen to me, child of God. A fall begins with a slip. Check your feet. If it's slipping, check your feet. As I'm preaching now, you are checking your feet. Check your feet. If you are slipping away from faith, if you are slipping away from Christ, check your feet. If your feet is wobbling, feet are just wobbling spiritually, you may think you are. Some people look at the way they are standing, their feet are wobbling. Am I talking here now? Some people's feet are dragging spiritually. Dragging, it's like they are being pulled. They are not moving freely. Okay? They are not moving freely. They are not moving freely. They are not moving without each. Their feet are dragging. 2 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 5. He said, examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Tell your neighbor, examine your faith yourself. As pastor is speaking now, you're examining yourself. You may be used to coming to church, still examine yourself. You may have less song in the choir this morning. Examine yourself. You may be playing the keyboard while I'm preaching. Examine yourself. You may be ushering people as they're coming to church. Examine yourself. Am I talking here this morning? Whether you still be in the faith. You can still be preaching and yet you're not in the faith. You can still be singing yet you're not in the faith. You can still be playing the keyboard yet not in the faith. You can still be officiating as a protocol officer, yet you are not in the faith. Still standing like Brother Sunday on the camera, yet you have long left the faith. You can still be in the children department, but you are not still in the faith. Examine yourself. Prove your own self. Know ye not your own selves, how that Jesus Christ is in you, Except ye be reprobate. What does it mean to be reprobate? Except ye fail the test. Except ye have failed the test. Examine yourself. Is somebody here now? Can I talk to you? The greatest examination is not ICANN. It's not professional exam. Just start. It is not that. What is that one? Flourish want to sit now. MB what? MB, whatever they call it. It's not LLB. It is not BSc. It is not the greatest examination is self-examination. Is somebody here? Somebody say self-examination. A doctor may examine your body, but it's your duty to examine your soul. The doctor cannot examine your soul. It is your duty to examine your soul. That is why it's the greatest examination. Nobody can check you up like yourself. As I'm preaching now, you know where you stand. You can't lie to yourself. You can't deceive yourself. You can fool everybody, but you cannot fool one person. Two persons, God and yourself. Am I talking here now? If I look at him and say, Jerry, you are a fool, you may get angry at me. But the day Jerry wakes up and say, I think I'm a fool, change will begin to take place. You can get offended if I say, Jerry, you're a fool. Am I talking here now? But the day Jerry looks at himself in the mirror and assess his life, examine himself and say, Jerry, people I say, I think say you be a fool by himself. At that time, change it will start taking place. Am I talking? Most times we look at ourselves and lie to ourselves. We look at ourselves and fool ourselves. Your solution has not yet started until you look at yourself and say, as I serve God, don't be the way I'm supposed to serve him. People may not know, but I deceive myself all these years. People are praying and I'm doing like this, they may think I'm praying. I don't they pray. I don't like let's say they pray. I say, this nonsense I must stop it. The day the prodigal son came to himself, he lost because he lost himself. When you lose yourself, you lose everything. When you lose yourself, you lose. But when he came to you, when he recovered himself, realized himself, restoration. There was restoration. There was a returning. There was a repentance. Am I talking here now? Come on now. It's no time for assumption. Examine yourself. You don't miss any service. Wednesday you are here. Friday prayer meeting. Saturday you came for evangelism. Notwithstanding, Sunday you are not here. Examine yourself. Nobody knows you like you. Haggai chapter 1:5 he said, now therefore thus of us, consider your ways. Examine yourself. Consider your way. If things are no longer working, before you start praying, examine yourself. We think everything is about prayer. You are talking to God without the right relationship. It's like meeting a stranger on the road and you're talking to a stranger on the road, you are wrong. Consider your ways before you start praying. Check. Oh, God does not answer prayer. God does not answer prayer. God answers prayer. God responds to who is praying, not saying. Consider yourself. Some people are only Christians in church on Sundays and other services, but when they leave the church, they put on the cloth of the world. Consider your ways. Go to verse 7 now. Against chapter verse 7 now. Go to verse 7 now. He said, thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. I bring this message from heaven this morning to people. Examine yourself. Why God gave me the kind of message He has given me at this time? Because He told me, He said, my son, my house, talking about the church, is in a state of comatose. It's church of our time. I don't care how many denominations we have in this world. The church is in a state of emergency. If following me since this year, you will know that my message have changed. He gave me a message, a entirely new message from what I used to preach. He said, this is the message now. He said, the church is like the dry bone. So I'm sending you as a revivalist. The church is in coma. And I don't know for how long we preach this kind of message, but I don't think there's going to be a stop to it. To bring the church into extinction. And it's gradually achieving it with the aid of social media. Once upon a time, they were on fire. But today, they can't explain why they are even proud that they don't go to church. Once again, they held the mic singing in the choir. Once again, they were under leading prayers. Once again, they were revivalists. Once again, they were ushers in church. But today, they are proud to say that Christianity is a scam. Pastors are scam. There is nothing like Jesus. Satan is angry at the church. Yes, some people are doing special Thanksgiving every Sunday, looking for how to borrow money to come to church. That people will know. Looking for how to make hair. Somebody is coming to church. He has not even made his soul. He has not prayed enough. He has not studied Bible enough. He's looking for hair, where to make hair. You must wear a new hair to church. You must wear a new look to church. It's all about fashion. I'm not against fashion, but please don't undermine the place of your soul. Don't undermine your soul more than all of these things. All of these things we are packaging. We end there. We came to nothing into this world. But one thing I know that you must not mess up with is your soul, because that is the one that is going. You should place more value on the one that is going than the one that is going back to the earth. All of these things we are acquiring. Excuses why you will not come to church, you will not serve God. It will expire here. It will not go with you. It will interest you that while you are still in the morgue, somebody is wearing your shoe and your clothes. While you are still in the morgue, somebody using your expensive handset. While you are still in the morgue, that your wig, expensive wig, that you hung somewhere, your younger sister is already putting it on. You are still in the mortuary. Return. Back, return. Examine yourself. For how long are we going to be fooling around? Deceiving ourselves. When it's obvious to me that I'm not there, I'm not connected, I'm not rooted. I am not rooted. Leave all these things we are doing. I am not there. When your spiritual fervency is dropping. Romans chapter 12 verse 11. He said, do not be slothful in business. Can I wait? Fervent in what? Serving the Lord. Do not be lazy, but work hard and serve the Lord with the. Can I have another translation? Ever lag in zeal and in earnest endeavor, be aglow, burning with spirit, serving the Lord. So how do I know that I'm now becoming spiritually dry? When your spiritual fervency is dropping. When you are no longer fervent as you used to be. When your fire is going down from flame to coal, and now from coal to ash. Some of us are ash. Spiritually, we are ash. When your zeal for God is no longer speaking, your zeal is dropping. When your new birth experience is no longer being felt in your neighborhood. Remember the time you gave your life to Christ, your friends knew you gave your life to Christ. When you got to know Christ initially, look at that excitement. Can you remember how excited you were when you gave your life to Christ? You were proud to tell people that you are born again. Even you didn't have to tell them. They knew that something had happened to you, that you have had an encounter. People felt it in your community where you lived. But now, can't tell if you are still in faith or not. You don't have to tell people that you're born again. And I tell you, the difference between fake born again and real born again is that fake born again will tell people that I am born again. Real born again speaks. Real born again speaks by itself. You don't have to say it. It speaks. When people encounter you, they will attest like, hey, this one is a Christian. He speaks. Real born again speaks. You will have to tell people, if not that I'm a Christian, I would have dealt with you. If you're a Christian, you won't say it. If you're a Christian, you won't say I would have dealt with you. If I'm for saying it, you have already dealt with the person. Somebody here at all? Interestingly, the disciples never told anybody, never named themselves Christian. But they're the ones who named them Christian. The pagans. The pagans named them Christians in Antioch. The pagans in Antioch saw these few folks around and said, these ones are Christian, meaning Christ-like. They never told anybody they were Christian. They didn't introduce themselves as Christians. Am I talking here now? It was the pagans. You will find that in Acts chapter 11 verse 26. Pagans that named them Christian in Antioch. Meaning that, and I began to ask, pagan. And God said to me, the proof of your new birth is people's testimony. The proof of your new birth is people's testimony. What is the testimony of your neighbor concerning you at home? What is the testimony of your friend? What testimony of your community where you are living? What is the testimony of the people around you where you are doing business? That testimony. The proof of your Christianity is people's testimony. Say, but by their fruit. By their what? By their what? How do you know them? How do you identify them? By them telling people that we are born again. By what? It is the fruit that reveals them. Yeah. You will find that in Matthew chapter 7 verse 16. By their fruit shall know them. Matthew 7:16. It is the fruit. No tree introduces himself. No tree will announce himself. No tree will say, say, look at me, I am mango tree. So I want you to know that I'm mango tree. No. By the fruit. When you see the fruit, you know it's not orange, it's mango. When people encounter you as a Christian, what kind of fruit do they see? I say, examine yourself. When people tell you what kind of fruit, it is that fruit that defines who you are. Not telling them, if not for the oil on my head, which oil? Oil without patience, oil without love, oil without forgiveness, oil without gentleness, oil without self-control, oil full of gossip, oil. What kind of oil? If you have aurora or drums of aurora on your head, and I cannot find peace, I cannot find love, I cannot find long suffering, I cannot find self-control, I cannot find gentleness, I cannot find goodness, I cannot see faithfulness with you. Your oil is a fake oil. Am I talking here? It is not by their oil you know if they are called. It is by the fruits. So if you are genuinely saved, it will show. Your language, conversation. Your language. The old language will give way for the new language. Because being Christian comes with a new language. Comes with a new language. Am I talking here now? In 1 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 17. For if any man be in Christ, he is a new what? With a divine knowledge. A new creature with a divine knowledge. All things are passed away. All things have become new. If you are born again, then it has to affect your language. Am I talking? There are people who are said they are born again, yet they still speak like Babylonians. Is somebody here this morning? You cannot be born again. Hear me. Every little thing, you raise your hand and hit your wife. Born again, you are beating a woman. What kind of born again? I will destroy you. I will beat you. That you cannot be born again. And as a wife, running your mouth, abusing your husband. That is why these days you can really find men in church. Men may not tell you, even if their wife is sleeping in church and waking up in church, as long as they don't find any of the fruit in their wife, they will not come to church. They are discouraged. You still come back home and still talk like the old you that you still come back home and still shout at him like the old you. You still insult him like the old you. Before he says one, you have said two. What kind of born again are you? How will he even come to church? Because there is nothing attractive. Our zeal for the things of God is getting low. Used to be a front line. Before a program is announced, but now zeal has gone to zero level. You think it's normal? Spiritually dry. He's setting in. In Psalm 122 verse 1, he said, excited, enthusiastic, when they said to me, that's an expression of enthusiasm, full of zest. When they said to me, is coming to church not exciting to you? My dear, it means you have become spiritual. When coming to church is now a burden, a struggle, just to wake up on a Sunday morning from bed, 6 o'clock, you are still stretching. You stretch into 8 o'clock. 9:30, you are still looking for water. Emeka, you bend your head. The water is dropping small. 9:48, never take light. Pumping machine no longer pumping water. Check it. There are people now. When devil try to mess up with their appointment with God, they wear their clothes like and start going to church. Satan, you cannot stop me. When you sense some of this is happening, Satan is at work. I've asked some persons why did not come to church. There was no light to iron my clothes. Dry place. Spiritually dry people will never have light to iron their clothes. They're always busy. With all of the busy, there is nothing. I see people with all the busy from January. There are people, with all due respect, you have been coming to the church for many years now. With all your busy schedule, what have you achieved? Be honest. That's why I began with examine yourself. Be sincere to yourself. What have you achieved? Can I talk to you? Not do for yourself what God alone. What God's supposed to do for your life, you know fit do for yourself. You know fit. No matter your you can't achieve for yourself what God is supposed to achieve for you. That scripture we read in Romans chapter 12, verse 11. He said, never lacking in zeal. He said, but serve the Lord enthusiastically. Never lacking in zeal. Never be lazy. What it means that never lacking in zeal. Serve the Lord with what? Enthusiastically. Be excited at any opportunity to serve God. Be excited. You always look forward to serving. Always look forward to doing something for God. It's not all about God give me, God do for me, God do for me, God do for me, God do for me. Like what for me, God do for me, give me. No. Look for an opportunity to put smile on the face of God by winning soul. Do it with excitement. Even when you come to church, don't make stupid excuses. I walk. Just say, God have mercy upon me. But that excuse it doesn't make sense. To you, because you have become a dry place, it makes sense to you. To him, it is foolish. Imagine as you are going to that walk, you never return. God forbid. Let's be wise. Another way is when they have to encourage you to come to church. Today and Sunday, they write a special letter. Don't forget. Anytime you have to be encouraged, coach. Did she make up yesterday night? She had delicacy. Anytime she has to start preaching, it means you have become spiritually dry. Because you listen, a man that is not spiritually dry, you don't have to preach. You don't have to. No. Am I talking here? Check your Z. Check your Z. When the enthusiasm is becoming low, it means spiritual dryness is setting in. It's setting in. And that is the perfect atmosphere for Satan to operate. I told us it has 3 missions. Number 1, to kill, to steal, John 10:10, and to destroy. Am I talking here now? When he enters and finds rest, that marriage will remain unsettled, business unsettled, spirituality. Am I talking here now? Don't give it. The Bible says resist him. Resist him. How do you resist him? By creating unconducive atmosphere for him. Resist him. Create the right atmosphere for only God to work. Am I talking here now? Because you think you prayed, you cast him out, he will come back. The Bible says after he attended Jesus, he left for a season. When you bind him, he goes away. He will still come back to see it if the house is empty. If you are available. When he sees that this one has become ripe, spiritually dry, he doesn't go to church again. This of God no longer excites him. He will come. And when he comes in, coach, that's why you're going to go hospital. When he comes in, issues. Here, I'm telling you now. That is why you think Satan is happy that you are staying in church, hearing this kind of message. He's still waiting to give you reason why you should not be here on Wednesday and Sunday. And most of the time, the reasons are justifiable, are factual in the eyes of man. But before God, they are foolishness. Somebody here this morning. When you prioritize your secular job above kingdom endeavor, I'm not saying you should not face your job squarely and do your work. There's time for everything. But when it has to do with God's, give God his place. When you prioritize your secular job, all of us have secular things. I have secondary assignment I'm doing. You all of us know here, except you're a new person. So, but then, I will never prioritize my business above the kingdom. No matter how much I'm making, it cannot be compared with what God has done. With all the money. No, the richest man in the world couldn't have bought your salvation. It cost his blood. What more? Of course, don't value what God has done. When you treasure money and material blessing more than the enrichment of your soul. Treasure money. Money. When you treasure money more than the enrichment of your soul. God gave you how many days in a week? 7. Or with that, these few hours, what will you remove from the 7 hours? 7 days you have. See how Satan have made us look stupid, cheated us. How stupid Satan have reduced us not to think again. You have Monday, you have Tuesday. On Wednesday, you have 1 hour, 30 minutes on here. Then you have Thursday, you have Friday, you have Saturday, you have Sunday. You come 8 o'clock. For those of us who are not workers, you are leaving about 10:30 now or thereabout. See, that hour is too much. You know that there are people that with all the money they have, with all the resources available to them, doctor just said to them that they have 7 hours to live. Have you been seen people? Maybe the problem we have is lack of exposure. I've been to places they tell some people, the hospital, it's not about money. We have tried our best. Money can still fail. It is not safe for you to become a slave to. Am I talking here? Money is supposed to be a slave to what? You're supposed to command mastery over wealth and the wealth. Because some of us, it is money. Money will define where you go, the people you meet, the kind of life you live. It defines everything about the outcome of your life. If money not to come to church now, maybe somebody brings something to you now that has to do with money. I'll go this week. You must get to a point that you begin to prioritize God, your soul, above, and tell the devil, perish with your money. That is why sometimes when I'm preaching, I make reference to Muslims.
That Friday they're having their prayer. If you like, bring 10 million to come and buy. They'll tell you, let me go for Jumat or whatever they call it. When they come and say, hey, my customer, how are you? Oh yeah, let's talk. But Christian, you're having a special program in church. Now go bring the money. Sit down, my brother. I go next week's service. Value. You want God to value you, yet you don't value Him. Don't value the things of God. I'm just telling you how to know that you are becoming spiritually dry. The worst thing that can happen to a man is that you are doing business and you collapse where you are doing business and die. As small point they start to. No. Some people in a month they only come to church once. Is somebody here? When all of these things is happening, you should now know. I will tell you that there is something wrong. That tells you there's something. May God restore unto somebody here the joy of salvation. Do you know the joy? The joy. No atmosphere can be compared with this kind of atmosphere you're enjoying here. Do you know that the spirit of death can never enter here? That is why I keep telling churches, they emphasize on the issue of preaching about money, wealth, business, breakthrough. Preach. There's a message you will preach. Unbeliever will be convicted with his wealth. Say, hey, it's not about money. We are supposed to be envied. These days, a Christian who does not know her worth or his worth will be bound to a man who has gone to do ritual. Where he has money. Lord will help us. Did you get it too now? Spiritual effervescence is dropping. Means that you are becoming spiritually dry. When your zeal, enthusiasm, and zest for God coming low. Sir, Satan is mad. I bind you. Somebody bind finish you. He dey go. He marwa somersault. He finish change hand. He dey go marwa somersault. He hand break. Hand change. People should be taught that it's not all about binding. Start creating the right atmosphere for Satan not to operate. Am I talking here now? He can go to any other but not here. Wake up in the morning. Prayer is a big thing. And pray. And you go. At night before you sleep, no feel pray, no feel read Bible. Just wake up in the morning. Start looking for amla to swallow. You wake up, your phone is by your bedside. Next you start. Once you wake up, that you go carry your phone. Open up. On the check nonsense. First in the morning. You have become a refrigerator now. You get something this morning. Rise this morning. Are you blessed? Now lift up your hands and give Him glory. Thank Him. Thank Him. Thank you.